Hello everyone, this is the great Lord and Master, Osiron, the Eternal, for what should be a pretty quick video. I just want to sort of expound on what's really going on with this number 18 that's really taken center stage since I made the video, the 18 spheres of the Qliphoth. The theme of 18 has really come alive powerfully since then. And in the last video I made, the Chains of Olympus, we really saw what that really means, because this structure here is the Chains of Olympus, and this is what the true tree and jewel transform into to form this structure here. And this is a perfect structure that uses exactly 18 spheres, and it's a complete closed loop that spirals downward and chains back upward. And the last video I made gets into this, and it's pretty powerful. And all these other structures, though, are either 18 spheres, or they're used the single-digit code numbers of 0 through 9, and then 1 through 9 reduced, which ends up being 19, which reduces to a 1. But see, these structures over here, these use 0 through 18, which is 19. This is the universal tree of divine perfection. This is the pixelated matrix here, and of course the Chains of Olympus. And this is the true tree and jewel in its pre-transformed state. Now, one thing you're going to notice about the numbers, and this I touched on last time, and this is sort of the reason I'm making this video, because what happens with the numbers is it goes through its first string of 1 through 9. With the order, feminine, masculine, and so on. And then when it hits 10 through 18, it's the reverse of the first. Exactly. So it starts out with 10 as a masculine, then feminine, and then it goes on to the end. And then when it goes through 19 through 27, it repeats back to the original. And all of these rows reduce to what the number is. So this one up top is what all of these numbers reduce to, the 10 and the 19, and it keeps going. The 2, the same thing, and all that the same thing. It keeps reducing, and it forms sort of like a checkerboard pattern of alternating polarity, and this is what we're seeing here. And then in this pixelated matrix here, which I've highlighted in other videos, you're really seeing what happens, the importance of what is going on with this reverse polarity aspect. See, down here in the lower pixelated thing here, it goes 0 through 9, okay, and then on this top it goes 10 through 18, and then if you follow the vortex math circuit of what happens, and the reason I have these colored is because the idea that everything that comes from that sphere, if the sphere is feminine, the blue line will come from that. If it's masculine, then a red line will come from it. So when you follow that criteria, you notice that the upper section is actually a exact mirror of the first, following the vortex math theme. So this is a 1 and a 0, and it reduces to a 1, but it takes the masculine position of the 10, so now it's doing the exact mirror reverse of what's going on below. Exactly. So now what you see is sort of a polarity interchange that is always alternating. So it's not. So these pixels aren't the very same. This pixel section is the exact reverse of this one, and you see the 9 in the middle. Well, now you have 2 masculine lines bordering that, and then if you were to keep stacking them, it would go 2 feminine on that, and then it would keep reversing. So there's always a polarity interchange. And we first notice the importance of that on this structure, because when it comes down, if you reduce everything, it goes 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and this side too, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. But if you keep it in its numbers, if you keep it in its whole unreduced numbers, it forms the reverse polarity. And what that does is also allows for the triangles to be congruent. So what happens, this is sort of like these triangle sections here are what's going on. You see the masculine triangle is allowed to be congruent with that alternation, and the feminine triangle up here is allowed to be congruent because of the alternation. Otherwise, it would be all fucking chaotic. And this is going back to the theme of duality. See, the single-digit code is, we can say it. The root single-digit code is that 0 through 9, but in the world it would be 1 through 9. But it's showing that even that has a fucking mirror image, a reverse image. It's sort of like the pulse of creation, which is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 0. Well, that really has two phases, because Fibonacci, when you reduce it using the single-digit code, has 24 numbers, and that forms two circuits of that 12-digit string of zero of the pulse of creation. So the pulse of creation isn't just a one pulse; it's a dual pulse. And this is the same exact thing with the single-digit code. So 1 through 18 is both halves of that phase. So the single-digit code of, in this case, 1 through 9 is incomplete. It's really, you would say, 1 through 18 or 0 through 18 gives you both halves of the code, and you see that show up here. And you see it show up here too beautifully with the congruency of the triangles that are allowed to be formed. And also, one interesting thing happens. See, these cross spheres here are the 3-6 spheres, and when you use the unreduced forms, they stay polarized completely. So in this one, this is the 3 and the 15 here, which of course reduces to 3-6. But with the numbers that are here, these are all feminine. It stays polarized separately. And the 6 one down here has a counter of 12, and the 12 is taking the masculine position as an even number. So this stays polarized masculine too. So these center positions, if you're starting from here and you work down, even shows the feminine first aspect. And then when you go back up using the reverse, of course a garbage truck has to go by while I'm doing this, but so when you go up it's the reverse. It goes masculine and then feminine. We got the convoy of trucks riding by as I do this video. So it goes up, and it does that, and it allows for congruency, and it allows for the polarization to stabilize when you do that. So this aspect of 18 is really, really huge and really, really important in the nature of what's going on with this, with these constructs here. So I just wanted to make this quick, short video. In that, even up here, I named the title "The 18 Hands of Lord Osiron," and some of you martial artists might sort of equate that to something in your mind that you may have heard of. Well, a long, long time ago, when I was first getting into studying, martial arts, I mean, really, really long time ago when I was a kid, I came across the stories, the Chinese stories of the 18 Hands of Lao Han, and that would eventually evolve into Shaolin Kung Fu. And that's why I use that play on words, the 18 Hands of Lord Osiron. So that is it. Thank you, and namaste.